For this project, we are going to be exploring landscapes using color palettes. We are also going to be working with a non-traditional art making material. We're going to use our clothing. So first, let's take a look at the concept of a color palette and connection to a landscape. So a landscape is a place that can be a more natural place, or it can be an urban place like a city or town. And then a color palette is a group of colors that are used to create an image or create a work of art. So in this case, our color palettes are being used to create landscapes. Here on the left, you can see we have a lovely mountain being reflected in a lake with a lot of beautiful pine trees. And below, we can see the color palette that we would want to use to make this image. So we've got a light gray, a dark gray, we've got 3 different values of blue, green, and we've got a green over here. And then on the other side, we've got what looks like maybe the Grand Canyon at probably sunset. And we've got the colors that we would want to use if we were to recreate this landscape. We've got a red, a coral, a kind of mauve-y pink color, purple, kind of in the lilac range, indigo, and then kind of a blue-green or dark blue. Here are 2 more landscapes that have been paired with a color palette that one would probably want to use to recreate them. You can see that instead of using all of the colors that might be created here, it's just kind of the main ones that one would mix with in order to create the other colors too. Again, 2 more examples. These 2 happen to use pretty much the same color palette, with maybe this one using a little bit of a more orangier gold color or red. But you can see again, a landscape can be either more of a natural place or something that might be in a park or a town or a city. Both count as landscapes. Your first task in this project is going to be to find a picture to use for your landscape recreation. It could be a photograph of a place or a painting of a place, but it should be a landscape. It should be a place. Here you can see I've got another one of those photographs that's been paired with a color palette. I also have a painting by Bob Ross. Both of these would be great landscapes to pull from. Once you have your photo selected, I recommend saving it to your iPad by pressing and holding on it and then hitting Add to Photos. Next, you're going to try to recreate your landscape using clean clothing. Please no underwear or dirty clothing. You can see here's the picture that I decided to work with, and then here's what I ended up creating using my clothes. I took a picture when I was completed so that I could post it to Seesaw. You should too. Once you are done, I would like you to fold all of your clothes and stack them by color, kind of like the color palettes that we saw in the earlier slides. So you can see mine used brown, kind of a golden yellow, green, light blue, and dark blue. You're going to take a picture of these clothing stacks, just like you did with the others, to post to Seesaw. Please put away all of your clothes neatly when you are done. Then post all 3 pictures, your reference picture, your landscape that you recreated, and your clothing stacks picture to Seesaw. Check out the next part of this video to see how I would like you to do that. Hey everyone! So for our activity, these are the instructions for how you're going to post it to Seesaw once you've completed it. You'll go to your course, you'll find your activities, and then you'll find the one that looks something like this in your activities feed. It should say Art with Miss Anderson. It should say the dates that your activity is assigned for, and then Color Palette Landscapes, which is the name of our project. We are going to be picking up with step 9. So we've already completed steps 1 through 9 or 8. Now on step 9, we're going to go to Seesaw to this activity, and then we're going to click the Add Response button that's a part of this activity. So I'm going to hit Add Response. And then I get all of these fabulous options. Today, we are going to be uploading. So we're going to hit the cloud, we're going to hit photos up at the top, and then we're going to be able to go into our recents and select our photos. So I want this one, and I'm going to hit the green check mark. Then I am going to do one of two things. I can either add some photos kind of on top of this, or the cleaner way, I can add pages. So I'm going to add a page. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit the camera. And I'm going to hit the cloud again, recents, and this time I want my landscape that I recreated. I can also select two photos at this time, so now I'm going to select my color stacks too. I'm going to hit the green check mark. Now I've got both of those pictures in there. I can move them around, I can change their sizes, which I recommend that you do to make sure that we can really see them. So I like to drag on the corners, click and drag to make them nice and big. Another option for you would be to do 3 pages and have a page for each thing. I'm gonna hit add a page. So now I'm up to 3 pages. And on this 3rd page, that's where I'm going to answer my questions by doing one of two things. I can either hit the mic to record or the T to type. So today I think I'm going to hit the T to type. And question 1, which I can come and view again by hitting view instructions if I need to. So I can go back and find those questions. So question 1 is what is a landscape? Question 2 is what is a color palette? And question 3 is how do I feel about this artwork? And I can hit the X once I've got that information. And I can come back and type. So what is a landscape? A landscape is a place. Boom, that's what a landscape is. And I can answer question 2, what is a color palette? A color palette is a small group of colors that an artist uses to create their artwork. Boom. And last question, how do I feel about my artwork? I feel good because I took my time and did my best. Boom. 3 questions, all answered on one space with text boxes. Again, remember you can also use the microphone. Once you have completed this, you're going to hit the green check mark. One thing to note though, please, 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 when working with text boxes, pick a color that is easy to read. So if I was to do the lime green or some of these other colors in here, it might be a little harder to read. Black is always safe. That's got good contrast with my white background. Just make sure that you can clearly read it. Maybe have an adult who's with you at home right now read it. If the adult can read it, then Miss Anderson can read it. Make sure that you hit the green check mark to submit. It will load. It might take some time since we've got a lot of files here. Then you'll be able to swipe through, see all of your hard work, and you are golden. Make sure that you're checking Seesaw because I will be liking them when I've seen them, and I will be leaving some comments to give you some feedback for how you can continue growing as an artist. I can't wait to see what you'll create.